The first thing that I want to make sure you do when getting started with your spreadsheet is changing the date here and making sure that it's the first of the first month of whatever year you want to do your books for. So if you're a longtime Paper and Spark spreadsheet user, the Seller spreadsheets used to use dated formulas, and you always had to download the proper file year for whatever year you were working with to make sure that the formulas worked properly. Well, now the spreadsheet does not use dated formulas anymore, so you just need to tell the spreadsheet what year you want to work with. And you will do that by typing in this pink cell up here. So let's say you're in 2020, but you need to do your 2019 books. I want you to change that to 1/1/2019. Let's say you are at the end of 2020 and ready to do your 2021 books. Download a fresh copy of this file from the paperandspark.com site to make sure you have the most up-to-date version and type in 1/1/2021. Now, you can make this file work with whatever year you need to be working with, but the caveat is if you have a financial year that does not begin with January. So as this file is right out of the box, it's really only going to work if you're starting with January in column B, the first column here. That's because these built-in formulas that are pulling from the import tabs of whatever spreadsheet you're looking at are set up to pull from the January tab first. So if you have a financial year that begins with a different month than January, you don't want to use the spreadsheet as it is right out of the box. You can't change this to like April and have it work because the column that used to be January will still pull from the January import tab down here, which won't be correct. If you have a different financial year than one that starts with January and you're located in Australia or the UK, there are templates for your financial year for your currency available in your account at paperandspark.com that you can download right now if you go access that. If you have trouble accessing that, or if you're located somewhere else and you have a different financial year, just email us at support@paperandspark.com and let us know you need us to make a different version of the spreadsheet for you. I also want to note real quick that it doesn't matter if you started your business in the middle of your financial year. You don't need to email us for a special spreadsheet for that. Like if your taxable financial year is still the calendar year, which it is for 95% of us, at least here in the US, but you are opening your business in, say, June, you don't need to get a special version of the spreadsheet that starts in June. You can still date it for January 1st of whatever year you're going to do your books for, and just leave the columns that you don't need blank and get to work on whatever month you're starting to have transactions or data to enter for. You don't need a special version of the spreadsheet if you are starting mid-year. You only need a special version of the spreadsheet if you're not in the UK, you're not in Australia, and you have a financial year for tax purposes that's different than the calendar year. And you want to make sure that you do that part right because it's going to format these months right here and it's going to impact the dates that you enter here. So whatever year dates you enter here is what the built-in formulas in the spreadsheet are looking for. So if you ever accidentally enter an expense or a sale transaction with a year other than what you've told your spreadsheet, that expense is not going to work. It's not going to travel properly and be included in your monthly totals on the monthly summary tab. So you always want to make sure that whatever year you're entering on these tabs matches the year that you've told your spreadsheet you're working with. This really only ever becomes an issue when you're catching up on your books. So let's say I'm in 2020 working on my 2019 books. If I try and enter a transaction here with no year, I don't type in the year, your spreadsheet software is going to make it be whatever year it currently is. So if you're working on a different year, you're gonna need to manually make sure you type in that year so the spreadsheet formats it correctly for you. I have one extra step for you if you happen to be using a seller spreadsheet in numbers. You have one additional thing that you need to do to make the dated entries that you're going to enter in numbers work properly. If you don't do this step, you won't see your transactions that you enter in these tabs travel properly to your monthly summary tab. So what you want to make sure you do is highlight your row with the months on your monthly summary tab. It may be row 3 or row 4, depending on which Seller spreadsheet you're using, but you can highlight that whole row just by clicking on the 4 over here on the left side of your screen. And then you want to head over to the format menu over here on the right-hand side of your screen, go to cell, and then change this data format to be date and time. It's going to look really scary and ugly for a second here, but you can get rid of the times and make it look better by going to time and clicking none, and it will just look like this. It'll have the first of the month now once you do it, but just doing that one extra step will allow your spreadsheet to work properly.